You ever have that feeling like you're running on a treadmill chasing all these things that are supposed to make you happy, but they just don't? Well, today we're going to dig into that. We've got four simple but really powerful ideas that are like a roadmap to figuring out what truly makes you tick. This isn't just some abstract theory, it's a practical framework that might just change how you see, well, everything. So, let me ask you straight up, what truly drives you? It sounds like a simple question, right? But the answer? Oh, it's way more complicated than you might think. Is it money? Your job? Your family? We're about to see that what we think is driving us, well, that might just be the tip of the iceberg. Okay, let's dive into the first big idea. I like to call it the engine of you. The core concept here is that every single one of us is powered by a set of fundamental needs. And I'm not just talking about wants. I mean, the deep down, non-negotiable stuff that is the very engine driving every single thing you do. So what does this engine look like? Well, think of it in layers. At the very bottom, you've got the basics, right? Your biological needs: air, food, water, survival stuff. Then, as we move up, you get to the social things, that need for connection, for intimacy. But we go even deeper. We have this profound need for belonging, for acceptance, for love. And then, at the very top, there's this drive for growth, for becoming the best version of ourselves. This whole stack, that's the fuel for your entire life's journey. Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. There's a twist. We don't actually see these needs clearly. Our second idea is that we view everything through this powerful and often really distorted lens. And that lens, that's your unique worldview. And believe me, it changes everything. So, what is a worldview? It's basically the collection of all the beliefs and attitudes you've picked up over your life. From your parents, your culture, your own experiences. And here's the kicker. Most of this stuff gets locked in when we're kids, so we don't even think to question it. It just feels like, well, the way things are. But this lens, it's constantly filtering and sometimes totally warping how we see our own needs. Let me give you a perfect example of how this works. Let's say deep down, your real need is for acceptance and love. That's the core thing, right? But maybe your worldview, the one you got from society, screams that success and achievement are what make you valuable. What happens? That fundamental need for love gets twisted into a perceived need for, say, a huge career achievement. So you end up chasing that next promotion, pouring all your energy into it, while that authentic, real need for connection is just sitting there completely unmet. And this is so, so important. This mismatch, this distortion, it creates this huge disconnection from who we really are. It's exactly why someone can look like they have it all: the perfect job, the money, the success, but on the inside, they feel totally empty. They're feeding that perceived need, but they're starving the real one. And that's where frustration, conflict, and that feeling of just being stuck comes from. So that leads us perfectly into our third big idea. If your worldview is the very thing creating the problem, well, then trying to solve it from inside that same worldview is just impossible. It's like being locked in a room and thinking the solution is to just push harder on the locked door. It's never going to work. The answer has to come from somewhere else. Yeah, this quote just nails it. No problem can be solved by the same consciousness that created it. You just can't. To really fix something, to actually break through, you have to find a whole new way of looking at it, a new level of awareness. So a really good way to think about your worldview is like a box. It's your own personal box, and inside it are all your current thoughts, your beliefs, your assumptions. It's cozy in there, right? It's familiar. But it's also incredibly limiting, because when you're stuck inside it, the only solutions you can ever come up with are the ones that are, well, already in the box. I mean, think about a fight you keep having with someone, maybe a partner or a family member. It's the same argument over and over. Why? Because you're both stuck inside your own boxes, arguing from the same old assumptions, making the same old points. It feels impossible to solve. The only time you get a breakthrough is when one of you finally manages to step outside your box and see the whole thing from a totally different perspective. So what this really means is that if you want to grow, if you want to find real solutions, you have to make a conscious choice to look for ideas outside your comfort zone, outside your box. You got to be willing to challenge what you think you know and explore ideas that might even feel a little strange or uncomfortable at first. Which brings us to our fourth and honestly most profound idea. If we need to find answers outside our box, where does that truly game-changing wisdom come from? Well,
the answer isn't something you're going to find in a textbook. It's a kind of truth you have to experience for yourself. This kind of deeper truth is a bit of a paradox. On one hand, it's what we call immanent, meaning it's already inside you, it's all around you. You can access it through your own lived experience. But on the other hand, it's also transcendent. It's bigger than our everyday thinking. It exists beyond words, beyond concepts, beyond logic. And that right there, that is the absolute key. This isn't some intellectual puzzle you can just think your way through. It's a reality you have to encounter directly. You know, a book or a teacher can point you in the right direction, but you have to be the one to walk the path and have that experience for yourself. And when that happens, when you have that direct experience, it's not just a small tweak to your thinking. It's a complete, fundamental transformation of your entire worldview. It's like the old, distorted lens just shatters. The walls of your box they just fall away. And for the first time, you can see your real needs with total clarity, and your motivation starts flowing from this deep, authentic place. We're talking about change at the very core of who you are. Okay, so let's pull all of this together. These 4 ideas aren't just abstract concepts to mull over. They actually form a really practical framework, a path for genuine growth. Let's walk through what that path looks like, step by step. So here it is, the journey of development. Step 1, you have to acknowledge what your real core needs are. Step 2, you have to recognize your personal box, your worldview, and see exactly how it's distorting those needs. Step 3, you actively seek knowledge from outside your box to find new ways forward. And finally, step 4, you stay open to a direct personal experience of truth, the kind of aha moment that changes everything. See, it's a journey from just being aware to being totally transformed. You know, this whole big journey, it all starts with one tiny step. Just a little bit of self-awareness. So I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. What is one belief you hold, just one thing you believe about yourself or the world that lives inside your box that you could dare to question today?